Well, good morning. It's Saturday, October 16th, and pretty nice day out there today. It's a little chilly, about in the mid 50s or low 50s, but hey, today we are going to, well, we kind of cleaned up some stuff from underneath the fuselage there when we first got here, but today we're going to be working on looking at the the vertical stabilizer running nav antenna wiring up in there. We're kind of kicking around a few ideas as far as a quote-unquote conduit that we want to have in there. And one thing that we're going to try is some of this plastic tubing, this chem tube. So we're going to see if we can run that up the length and figure out a way to secure it on the end, and just so that that antenna coax doesn't get chafed up inside that vertical stabilizer. But that's kind of the goal for today, and I guess if anything else, we'll see what happens, see what we can get done. I think I'd mentioned this before, that I did notice when we started looking at this vertical. This is the second piece that gets done after the rudder, and boy, there was some rivets that are really sticking up in there, that the heads are sticking up, didn't get riveted right or got riveted crooked. So we're going to replace some of these rivets here before we get really started with anything else. You can see that we did put this chem tube in here in the end. We've got it fed all the way down there, so we're going to try and figure out how this is all going to work. This is all, like I said, we're just trying this stuff out to see if it's even a possibility. Well, we're gonna take number 2. I'm starting over. Well, we're still working on this antenna mount for the vertical stabilizer, and I made one, and it's just a little bit too wide, and I tried to kind of bend and hammer this down, and I just can't get it to fit right. So I figured, instead of wasting more time trying to make it fit, we'll just make another one. We took the dimensions down on this one just a little tiny bit. What we're running into is where that goes in. So the concept that we're working on here, this is kind of the idea we came up with, was we've got this piece here, and this is 32 thousandths, and we'll put this in. It'll go about there, and we'll rivet here, and I think here, and then 2 more here. we're going to add additional rivet right here, here, and then the same on the other side. And you see these notches here. We're going to notch out this tail section right here. This is going to be for the antenna. Just grabbing the antenna. So there's going to be a notch there, and that's what we're thinking is cutting that out right there. And then this will we'll eventually have nut plate in here on the back side, so that we can that's where there's a hole there and there, and there'll be a nut plate. Screws will go through here and into that nut plate on the back side, and then the antenna connects on that right there. So,
but the problem we were having is that the cap was not fitting.
Oh yeah. So the cap, we got the tip for the tail. We needed to create. Needs 50 thousandths clearance, because we're going to sandwich this in here. We're going to the tail cone, or the cap for the vertical stab will go in here, and this will be sitting inside, and then it will sandwich that cap, and then it will rivet through that. So that's kind of where we're at with that cap in the hat. And so what I did was just made another one of these. Like I said, I made the dimensions just like a 1/10 of an inch smaller on there. I thought I was going to be good on that, but my bends were a little too straight coming across, so that's why I ended up with the fitting problem on the first version, on version 1.0. So I bent that too straight. There needs to be more of an angle on that. So version 2, or version 1.2, we'll go get that bent and we'll see how it fits. All right, here we go. Change of plans after we broke this off. When I put it in this bender, I think when I did that first bend, it put a stress on this other tang that's it's on a different angle. I think it put a stress crack in it, or started to tear it on the corner, and I didn't see it. As soon as I bent it, it just snapped it right off. So what I'm going to do is we're going to just go with one on this. So we'll use this one. I'm going to cut this short one off. We're going to keep this long one on there for the front part. And then this will also be riveted into that rib that's in the vertical stabilizer. We'll clean all this up here, but I don't know. We'll try this. Take number 3. All right, we got our antenna mount doubler done, and it's fitting up good this time. And I think I talked about this before. This is the Aerosport tip for the vertical. I went ahead and bought one of those. Fits up really nice. But so we've got this here, this tip, and it will sandwich in between. Get holes out of here. I just have it taped in there, but it sandwiches in between this mount here. I had it taped up, but it's got just enough. It's got just enough room for that lip of that to fit in there on both sides. And what we'll end up doing, we'll get this positioned a little better, but we'll rivet through here so that cap, that top will sandwich in there, and then this will get riveted on, so that will sandwich in there. And then we'll fabricate the mount up and with some nut plates for that antenna in here. And this will, let's see, yeah, so we'll have an antenna that will be coming out this side here and this side here. It's a little bit offset. That's the way the antenna is made. Yeah, so that's kind of the plan we've come up with on this, and then this will get riveted in to this rib that's underneath here. So that's the plan. It's really really light piece. I was a little concerned about adding weight back here on this tail, but really super light way to go. So yeah. Moon coming up. It was a really nice day. A little bit windy, but it's a really nice evening out here. Just a gorgeous clear day today. We're calling it a day today. We got a little bit done here. We've got this mount plate for the nav antenna. Finally got that kind of worked out how we're going to do that. Got the nut plates clecoed in here and drilled out. Well, next what we're going to do is we'll be putting this in here, and there's not quite enough room that the center of the antenna sits right about here, and there's this lightning hole here. I'm gonna have to just take a little bit off of that, I think, to make that so that nut plate will fit down inside of there. So we'll have to modify that just a little tiny bit, but then eventually this is going to be all riveted on top of that. So that's what we got done today. Took a couple tries to get this done, and then figured out that we just really wanted to have this big tab on there, that offset tab. So we'll have a couple extra rivets out here, we'll have a couple extra rivets down here, and you saw earlier we got that tip to fit on there. Fits really good. I stuck a mirror up inside of there, took a look at it, and everything looks pretty good. So the next time we're up, whenever that is, we'll continue working on this, get this kind of finalized and ready to go. And did you tape any of the rivet stuff today? I can't remember.
I believe so. Yes, I think.
Okay. You saw we did replace some of the rivets here. We did, what was it, I think 11 rivets on this this one side that I was not happy with. So
technically, this was the first thing we built, because we built a rudder and didn't do it right.
well, yeah.
So technically, this is the first thing we built.
But yeah, so I redid some of those rivets in there. Not a big deal. Just drilled them out and replaced them. I've got plenty of extra rivets here, and yeah, took care of that issue. And what else? Anything? No. Okay. Hey, thanks for watching. Have a good evening, and that's it for now.